Do you like any other music? I have The Cure.
Ooh.
Oh, no. It's not that kind of cure. It's a band. They can't make you better. I mean, they can, but emotional.
Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Cindy Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Chelsea Duff.
And this week, it is the last week of Obsession Month.
No, say it.
Sad.
But I think we might just have The Cure.
I love it when you plan a little joke for your intro.
I did not plan anything. That just came
It just
to me.
happened. It just
Wow,
was
you're just
natural.
a natural genius.
I'm literally just so delirious and smart. It's fine. And so
Good combo.
to end Obsession Month, we are going to do a new obsession, an obsession that's going to continue on through the years. And that is Lisa Frankenstein.
Slay! Yeah, Lisa Frankenstein.
Lisa Frankenstein.
I love watching movies and then immediately being like, this is going to be a cult classic.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you felt that way too, because I could not tell from your text.
As soon as she said she liked the black dress, I was like, I think she's in. Because it's a scene stealing look, but it's also so the vibes. So if you're buying into those vibes, you're buying into all the vibes, I think.
And I'm buying into the vibes because, okay, so this movie came out, a week ago? 2 weeks ago at this point?
On February 9th.
Yeah. So it's been 2 weeks. It'll be 3 weeks by the time this episode comes out. So if you haven't seen this, go to the theater, watch it right now. But we'll give you a brief little summary. And that is a coming of rage love story about a teenager and her crush who happens to be a corpse. After a set of horrific circumstances bringing him back to life, the two embark on a journey to find love, happiness, and a few missing body parts.
That's so cute.
A coming of rage,
of the overall
adorable.
tone.
Yeah, coming of age is good.
Coming of Rage is really good. Oh my God. I always love because when I'm on IMDb, I finally see all of the marketing things I missed. Like the tagline for the movie, which is if you can't meet your perfect boyfriend, make him.
Love.
Cute. Yeah.
Pretty good. But yeah, I'm so glad we're doing this movie. Chelsea and I saw this in theaters twice. We were super lucky. We went to this AMC preview spooky movie thing that was $5 and they don't tell you what movie you're gonna get to see.
And we were praying. We were hoping, we were manifesting.
They were.
So we were fingers crossed. And so we got to say, wow, exclusive. 5 days early. Whoa, pretty crazy. We could have broke the internet, spoiled it all. Turns out, similar to past Diablo Cody products, this movie is being panned by men across the nation. So maybe they wouldn't have cared if we'd spoiled it all, but they're wrong, is the thing.
Men are wrong. And I just want to tell you that upon the end of this film, Taylor turned to me and goes, I really like that. And I was not expecting to.
So at least one man likes it.
I was like, that is such a green flag for me, actually. Thank you. You can stay another week.
A huge green flag if a boy likes this movie. Because what's not to like? I don't know. Maybe the tone is not for everyone, I guess, if they have bad taste. But I don't know. It was fun and it made me swoon and
yeah,
I had a nice time.
I will say the first time we watched it, I was expecting it to be lightning fast, snappier, just because of Juno and Jennifer's body and how that's so much the tone of those movies. And because Jennifer's Body has become a cult classic, they really were pushing that in the marketing for this one, being like, writer of Jennifer's Body. And so while the marketing did so many more favors for Lisa Frankenstein than Jennifer's Body's marketing did, I think it kind of like set me up for an expectation that wasn't necessarily what this movie was. So that's why I told you when we were introducing it last episode, I was like, don't watch a trailer or anything if you haven't yet, because I'm not sure that those like match exactly. But I think if you don't have an expectation for it to be like, then it's like a really like there's nothing wrong with the pace. I went in with an idea of something else and I needed to adjust, and it took me a second viewing to fully be invested in the film as I was watching it. Like I liked it the first time, but I needed to sit in the world for a little.
The first part of this movie is really slow, and then it hits immediately and you're like, okay, and then it's like really, really good. And then the ending is kind of like a little chaotic, but I didn't hate it, you know?
Yeah.
I liked the ending. I think it's, for me, it stuck it. But I think part of the reason that the beginning is so stilted is because of our girl Kathryn Newton's character, Lisa Swallow, which is an unfortunate
Great name.
last
Great
name. It didn't click for me
Yeah.
that she had that not speech impediment, but like
Selective
the trauma
mutism, yeah.
induced selective mutism. I didn't get that she was still recovering from that, as Sydney is being mauled by Ladybug right now. Sorry.
Ladybug is enjoying this big ass 80s hair.
Ladybug loves the 80s hair. And she's right. She's right to do it.
Ladybug is got great taste. I really like the 80s hair. I was so excited to use my crimper, and I'm so glad you got one, Sydney. Perfect, just in time.
Honestly, I might start doing this a lot. I'm really enjoying the big 80s hair. I gotta be like,
so
how do I get it
beautiful.
bigger?
Seriously, you gotta tease. You gotta tease it.
Did you see Lisa with all of her hairspray? You got to get product in
used
there.
So much hairspray, and I didn't get it in my eye this time. Anyway, sorry. What I was saying though is that I think because our main character is like reacting, not like she's reacting slower. It's not like she has slow reactions, but she's not speaking that much. I was kind of confused at first because like it wasn't as bitey, but then once she starts talking, then it is. So I think that could be part of the weird pacing at the beginning because we're not getting as much of her. But maybe it's just because I'm obsessed with Kathryn Newton. She's so cute. I love her. She's so good in this. She's so beautiful. She's just got a cute little face. I love it.
I really like her. I was a little apprehensive about Cole Sprouse being in this movie.
Sure. Yep.
But, like,
Speak for yourself. Yeah, no, I know.
He
Keep
did
going,
a good
keep
job.
going.
Like, I think he did a good job in this movie. He doesn't speak for most of it, which is why I think I like it.
Which helps a lot. Yeah.
Which helps a lot, but
yeah,
I really
all of my friends who were scared to see Cole Sprouse in this were like, actually, he didn't bother me at all.
I personally love Cole Sprouse so much. I know that's wrong, and I know he's a dick. Please, please let me say that. Let me be the first to say that. But it doesn't help that I'm deeply and fully attracted to him, and I can't stop. Like, I feel like he just looks like he's dying all the time, even besides this movie. Where like if you look at Cole and you look at Dylan Sprouse, it looks like Cole is sick. And I like that about him. That's what I'm looking for, is a man who looks like he has a wasting illness. And so that's why I'm interested in Cole Sprouse, unfortunately. And it really sucks because he is such a pretentious, snobby dick, which is a lot to say for a man who was on fucking Riverdale for 10 years. And I looked at his IMDb. He did that one movie that he was sick and had to be 10 feet away from the girl, or 5 feet away or whatever. And that's fucking it. Like, he's done nothing in the last decade, okay, except for Riverdale.
His work on Big Daddy was so slay. So
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody literally changed lives.
Okay, well, don't I know? Where do you think this all came from? Where did this all sprout from? I like that he was the nerdy one. Okay, I loved that about him. And I thought he was very cute as Jughead because, yeah, I watched Riverdale for many years. But don't worry, I fell off. But don't worry, I came back for the Chad Michael Murray season. Don't you worry. That you got to watch that season. If you haven't, it's worth it. It's fucking insane.
I will say I'm a big Riverdale stan. It's so outrageous and incredible. There's nothing like the highs and lows of high school football.
That's so true.
It's so true. You better watch out for that jingle jangle.
Oh, it's so good.
He was literally in, yes, this is his filmography. 5 feet away, 5 feet apart. That was his rom-com where they both had some sort of disease that if you are near someone who has the same disease, it's bad. I don't know. I watched it a long time ago. I loved it. Anyway, it's fine. Then he was also in a movie called Moonshot with what's her name? The girl from our favorite rom-com series. Where is her name? Why is she listed so low in this?
Oh, the after movies?
No. You're thinking of Dylan. Dylan's in the after movies.
Dylan's
Oh, I
not
thought
in
you
the
were talking
after
about the
movies.
girl from our favorite rom-com movies.
Lana
and I was
Condor.
like, what?
Lana
Oh,
Condor.
actually good. Okay.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
good ones.
Yeah, what is the name of her? What is that?
To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
I've loved before.
To All the Boys I Loved Before. Yes. And I don't know. They photoshopped their faces on the cover of this movie, so it's like I'm not gonna watch it. Like that tells me nothing. So he's just been in like 2 like very mid rom-coms.
He didn't make the prestige jump like Charles Melton did with May December.
No,
or at least not yet.
God. No, he hasn't had that chance. But he's so pretentious for a man who starred in Riverdale for 10 years and done rom-coms only. And
he went
like,
to NYU, Monica. He's earned his pretentiousness.
He smoked
Anyway.
a cigarette on the Call Her Daddy podcast.
He did. Oh yeah, that was the other thing that ruined him for everyone.
Inside.
Why do I like him? I want to die. When I saw he was in this movie, I jumped for joy. Like, I need to go to jail.
Monica,
anyway,
go to horny jail right now.
I had to go to horny jail. And like the fact that he's a dead boy coming back to life, I was like, this is his perfect role.
It is a really good role for him though, because like honestly, Riverdale probably did a lot to prepare him for something like this. The ridiculousness of it, the outrageous, like, otherworldliness of it. I was reading interviews with Zelda Williams, the director, and Diablo Cody, the writer. And apparently Cole Sprouse is like friends with Zelda. And so he heard about the movie and the role from her and was like, I want to do it. And they'd been really worried about casting it because they were like, what actor is going to want to take this part with no lines? Yeah, they were like, how are we going to get someone to do this? I mean, I guess it depends how good your agent is. But yeah, they were worried
like
about
all
it
the fucking time, and he had to do all that prosthetic makeup and stuff. Anyway,
and be so gross and spit worms out.
He did great physical acting.
Yes. Yeah. Well, he studied with a mime coach so that he could be really good at that. He learned mime. So
wow. Okay. Kudos.
I also
that
love,
is cool.
I think that like he also like kind of like overdoes it for sure. You know, he's very like, you know what I mean? Like Frankenstein's like that, but he like, it's like cheesy for sure, but it like fits the tone of the movie like perfectly. Like it's endearing.
It's kind of giving Billy Butcherson from Hocus Pocus.
It's giving Billy Butcherson for sure. Yeah. It's also Edward Scissorhands was another reference I saw them talk about. There's like
this
a whole bunch
like
of
so many
movie called
clear
Frankenhooker
references
that I haven't seen, but they talked about Frankenhooker.
Have I seen Frankenhooker? Why does that feel so close to my heart right now? Anyway, I'm looking it up. Keep going. Maybe I'm just excited about it.
But no, they were definitely pulling from all kinds of like 80s horror and stuff too. Beetlejuice was on the list. I feel like the Lydia Dietz representation is very, very clear in this.
Very obvious.
Oh my God. Yeah. Her PC bangs. There you go. Already.
I wish she would have worn like the end dress that we see her in. It's like black. I wish it was red. That would have been like a great nod to Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, might have been even 2 on the nose, but she's in the red at the end, right? The very, 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 very end. I think she's in red. I did see this last night.
She has something red about her, but I feel like she's also in like full body wrap because she's a
in
burn
full body
victim.
wrap and she's in a red dress. I know she's in a red dress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
she's
do
in a red
remember
dress.
the color red for sure from that scene.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, well, back to what you're saying a long time ago, before I talked about Cole Sprouse for so long, we got to take it away from Cole Sprouse. Or I'm going to get heated. I'm already heated. I'm flushed. Um, about the trailer, they do dupe you with the trailer, but I think it might be intentional because the trailer, if you watch this movie, like we wanted, at least Chelsea and I had been talking about doing Lisa Frankenstein for Obsession Month for like a month beforehand. Like it had been on the short list for me because I was like, oh, the timing works perfectly. And you know me, I'm a trailer girly. I watched that trailer the week it came out. Like I was very excited about it. And the trailer makes it seem like Lisa is obsessed with this dead guy and that she's in love with him and somehow like her love will bring him back to life or she brings him back to life or something like that. But and I think that that's like a classic, like, no, it's not like a classic thing. I don't know if that's been done before, but like having like the woman like going after the man and blah 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 whatever. But then like you're set up expecting that, and it's not that at all once you actually watch the movie. Like it's the monster, the creature who's in love with her and is trying to convince her to be in love with him too. And so I thought that was like at first I was confused, but then it still worked for Obsession Month, and so I wasn't upset. And yeah, I think it was like a fun little dupe, interesting tactic.
Yeah. I will say though, I think they did a really good job of letting you know what movie you were in for once you were in the movie. Like the way they have the animated credits set up to both be beautiful, gorgeous credits and also
so
to give
pretty.
you his
So pretty.
backstory and be like, this is what happened to him. He had this love and then she was kind of a slut and she moved on to somebody. They say it in a nice way because they don't say anything at all with words.
Yeah,
But
wow, I can't believe you're
I know that was
slut-shaming
me
her
bringing
like
in
this.
into this feminist room. I don't know why I would do that, but she was an evil woman. She should have loved him forever.
She hurt Cole Sprouse.
Yeah, she should die. No, I'm sure she just needed to find love where her heart was or whatever. Anyway, so he had
She
his heart
regretted it
broken.
too.
Yeah, she goes and she cries at his grave.
Keep going, sorry.
But he has this love and he loses it and then he's sad and then he gets struck by lightning, question mark, I think.
Yes.
Or like a
Away in
tree
a
gets
store.
struck by lightning and a tree falls
And he's
on
like
him.
sitting under it. I don't know. They don't exactly say it because it doesn't really matter. But if he gets struck by lightning, regardless, the lightning is relevant. So that circles back later. But like to give you that setup, I think was a good entry point to be like, this is the kind of artistic, romantic, but a little silly movie you're watching. And then I also think when they got to the drug scene at the party, that did a really good job too of being like, here's what you're in for.
It's
But I also loved
silly
everything with
goofy.
Taffy. Everything with Taffy in the beginning.
Taffy's
Gorgeous.
perfect.
I'm obsessed with Taffy. Yeah.
Taffy's perfect. And it's also the actress's like first big role.
Yeah, her first American movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because she's
Oh my
a
God,
She's been working in the Philippines.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Lisa Soberano. She is so cute. I loved her in this.
She is really cute.
Or
I read
Liza.
an interview with her too.
I don't know.
I think it's Liza, but I mean, I didn't ask her.
I think it's definitely Liza. It's Liza. That's Liza.
Yeah, that's Liza.
Anyway, I just said Lisa. It's like that
Lisa.
all day. I've just been calling. Wait, we have to set up context. Last night, Chelsea and I went and saw this movie again, but before that, we saw Madame Web.
We saw Madame Web. We said, what if we did a silly little double feature? And it was the right call. It was absolutely the right call. Because do you know what? These movies are in conversation. They have a lot to say to each other. There was broken glass, spider webbing out in scenes in each movie. And other stuff that I don't remember now as similarities, but they were there. So you should go see them both.
Yeah, and also it is Madame Web. I just want to be really clear. There might be some people telling you that it's Madame Web, but it's not. It's Madame. I just want to like
Madame.
Dakota Johnson asked me to put that on the record.
Actually,
but
it's
yeah,
Milady Web. Just
No, even Cole
a
Sprouse doesn't
dumb.
approve of that.
There were no
Lady.
fucking Quiddlies or fucking what's it called? What's the word that they actually
Fedora?
call them? Fedora.
I don't know.
Quidly.
I have to be called Milady at least once a day or I'll die. So
That's the Renaissance
Milady.
fair girl in you, and I love that about you. But yeah, I just love that this one was set in the 80s. They did such a good job of bringing all of that into this. And the hair, the costuming was so much fun. I just, oh God, it made me again excited to own a crimper already. And
it made me
just-
really nostalgic for the tanning bed, quite frankly.
Mm.
I-
The tanning bed
bed's
still
so
exists,
funny.
you know, right?
I know, but it's bad for you. So like we can't go in them. But I
And we've seen Final Destination.
love tanning beds. I
But
love
it's so
them.
funny that she won that tanning bed for winning a pageant.
Miss Hawaiian Tropic or Tropicana or something like that.
So fucking funny and so perfect. But yeah, the background for this movie, like for Lisa's character, is super fucking sad. And I thought it would come back around more.
But it doesn't.
But it does not. But basically, Lisa's mom is axe murdered while Lisa is in the house by a masked assailant who is never caught, and he does not show back up. Just
Ever.
spoiler alert.
He shows up
Ever.
for 1 second in her dream after she does the drugs.
He is in her.
He pops
what
his
did
little
she
head
say?
out from under the bed. They
Did
make
she
a
say
joke that it's
PCP?
PCP, but I don't. Well,
What
I
did
don't know what drugs
PCP
were
do?
available in the 80s, so I couldn't say.
Google, what does PCP do?
You'll hallucinate and it's not fun. Don't do PCP, kids.
Makes users feel detached from their bodies and their surrounding and distort their perceptions of sight, sound, and reality.
Yeah.
Continue.
It's not fun. Don't do PCP.
I'm so scared that the way you're saying that.
I got accidentally dosed with PCP at Bonnaroo 2014. Don't do
Was
PCP.
was it just like this movie?
It was worse because Cascade was playing.
Too intense. Too intense.
Yeah,
So
overwhelming,
bad.
I'd imagine.
So bad. But like it didn't it like she chugs it and then it like immediately hits. And that's not the case.
That's movie. That's just movie.
That's for the plot.
Reality stuff. Yeah.
That's just movie magic.
More-
Movie magic, baby.
Maybe the PCP in the 80s was just real intense.
Maybe
Oh,
because it was mixed with alcohol, it just straight to her bloodstream.
I have a question for you
Okay.
guys. When do you think that Taffy's affair with what's his fucking name? I don't need to remember his name.
Michael Trent.
Thank you, Michael Trent. Occurred. When did it start? Because I think it's kind of weird if she didn't say anything when they were in the car ride over, when Lisa's like spilling her guts, being like, I love Michael Trent, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And Taffy's
Well,
like blah.
I was paying attention to it the second time around, but I also, in the interview with Lisa Soberano that I read, she talked about it a little. So I can give you the insider's take, but if Sydney has an answer or if you have something that you'd like to say before we reveal
I want to know the truth.
what they thought was okay. Basically what they talked about in their experience was that Taffy genuinely didn't know who he was in the beginning when they're in the car driving over. And by the way, her cute little license plate says like Laffy because she's Laffy Taffy. Yeah, and she's got like her little Hawaiian girl on her dash. Just I love her. Everything about
and
her
the
so cute.
AstroTurf, I love it.
She's so cute. I love her.
You
I'm so
love
Like a
the
whole
obsessed with her.
theme.
beach in her car,
She's-
which love.
She's perfect. She said my mom has beach themed bathrooms and I have a beach themed car and also life in general. But she said she didn't know who Michael Trent was then, but then after Lisa drinks the cup at the party and Taffy's like, "Are you okay? Did you take something?" And she, you know that second for 1 second where she's like, "I'm really disappointed," and like her voice is like distorting as Lisa immediately gets fucked up. You see her in the background, like going over to talk to Michael to be like, hey. But then apparently you can kind of see them like start to soften towards each other a little bit in that conversation.
Okay.
So
That
like,
was my guess too.
yeah, the party is where they really start to like talk and like maybe hit it off. And her take was in this scene at like by the lockers when we see them interact again, that she was like maybe not sure she was like ready to claim him or if she wanted to date him, but there had been something between them maybe. And so when he says I'll see you later, it's like actually maybe he was talking to Taffy, not Lisa. Because she's saying to Lisa also like, will you cover for me tonight? Because I'm doing something. She doesn't say what she's doing. And then the next morning she has the hickey. Yeah.
Okay, that totally works for me. Because I was like, I love Taffy, but it's
Yeah.
fucked up if she's like lying that much in that car ride over. But that makes sense. Because
But
she
it's
confronts
different to
him
be
there and is like, you asshole, did you just dose my girly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like that, if that's their their meet cute,
It's
and
still
then
real fucked up of Taffy's
it's
part.
yeah,
I will
it's
give her
not
that.
nice sister behavior, but you can't help who you fall in love with sometimes. And then she tried to get Lisa to move on, but Lisa's heart also wanted what it wanted. So, you
He
know,
is hot.
it's a complicated situation.
And
And
he's
I think
mysterious.
I don't remember actually if Taffy has dialogue that says something like he treats me like I'm not just a cheerleader, but doesn't she say something
I think she does
in the bedroom
yeah.
scene? Yeah, where she's like, he likes me for me. And then Lisa is like, he likes you because you're pretty and cute, and he doesn't want a girlfriend who's interesting and complicated like he is. And it's like, whoa, okay, girl.
That was so mean, but also
such a read.
I don't know.
Yeah,
such a
I think
read.
it's an accurate read of Michael. I don't think it's an accurate read of Taffy, but I don't think she was reading Taffy in that moment. So
No.
Don't fall for the pretentious boy. It's not worth it. It's much more fun to be with someone goofy silly.
be with Cole Sprouse instead of the pretentious boy.
Yes, Cole Sprouse is not the pretentious boy this time. That shows his range. That shows his range as an actor. Okay. But yeah. I was so surprised though when okay, wait, hold on. Before I move, I was gonna change the subject. We can't. When Chelsea and I were first watching the PCP part, I was like, I hope she's gonna have a nice time and this man will be kind to her.
This
He's
little
gonna
nerd
be
boy.
nice, right?
Oh,
He's gonna be nice.
wrong.
Right? No. Of course not. Of fucking course not. That fucking little bitch ass. I hate him. I'm glad he
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
He does.
Such a little bitch
Yeah.
boy. Doug.
Yeah, I kind of got the feeling as soon as he was like leading her down the hallway, I was like, this is not gonna be good. But I don't know. There's so many
hoping.
Yeah, there's so many details about the party in general, though, that I love. Like, I love this scene right when they get there where Taffy goes over to her friends. And they're like, so what's your sister's deal again? Like, what's going on with her? And she's like, well, I can't say anything because, like, of legal reasons. And also, I made a pinky promise. Because you're my best friend, so I'll tell you. And then it's like each time they keep cutting back for a reaction, there's like an additional cheerleader sitting there. I thought that was a great
they're
gag.
like more and more like blacked out. Like one of them's like, "Whoa, that's crazy." that was a really cute, and that I don't know, that had more of the like Diablo Cody like energy to snappy energy to it. That we love so much. So it starts coming really quickly. I don't know. I just love everything Diablo does.
Yeah, no, I was looking at her IMDb because in one of the interviews that I was reading with her, she was talking about how like the reception to Jennifer's body being so terrible is the reason why it took her this long to circle back to doing another horror movie. But she's done a lot of other things in between. Like she wrote Ricky and the Flash, which I didn't see, but I did see Young Adult, and I loved Young Adult. She created and wrote United States of Terror, which I've talked about before, how much I love United States of Terror. So she's been busy in the meantime. she just hadn't circled back to horror yet because her experience was so terrible. And she talked a little about how, like, because people expected that really snappy dialogue constantly from her after Jennifer's Body and Juno, she was like fatigued by it almost.
Yeah, no. And you don't want to always write in the same exact style, you
No,
know?
yeah. But I think people forget um how much out there is Diablo Cody. I think they really only think about Jennifer's Body and Juno, and have definitely been guilty of that for sure. And I
Yeah, I
think
was
like
looking it
the
up for
marketing for
this.
the marketing for this is so, hey, remember Jennifer's Body. By the way, this movie exists in the same universe. By the way, remember how everybody loves Jennifer's Body now. Let's try and ride that wave. And
Well, I
so
mean, that's smart.
yeah, no, it is smart. And she also talked about like how it was really nice that for Jennifer's Body, the marketing was so male focused and so male gaze focused because of Megan Fox. And the marketing for this was so refreshing, and that it at least was like really targeting the audience who would go
Totally.
see this movie. So I think at least that is like a huge progress. And I'm so sad that this movie isn't doing well. But I
It's
think
really
it's
not
going
doing
to
well.
Again,
have
it's a
slow
cult
growth,
classic.
cult classic as well. Yeah, like I think it'll I don't know. It's hard to gain cult classic status in the
Status
same
now.
way that things used to in like the streaming culture
Yeah.
of today, where things come and go so
But it still
fast.
happens. Like
It still
Terrifier,
happens.
I feel like
Yeah.
has that kind of vibe. Like that's like the crowds like created the hype from that. Like the layman created the hype for that got it, the sequels that it got. It was like a true indie. But this isn't an indie, so I guess that's not how it works. Oh my god.
I think this movie will be
You're just
beloved. I
showing
just
off your
don't
mutton
know.
chops.
I I was like,
But-
how do I get my little ear stitching in here occasionally?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Um,
Oh, let me
I
look
also
thoughtfully
I didn't.
towards the
We went to
camera.
the candy store last night, and I was like, why didn't I buy gummy worms? I'm such a fucking idiot. But I did buy gummy frogs, so I can drop those out of my mouth here and there if the moment calls for it.
If the time
But-
feels right.
Here's the
Mhm.
thing. With like the cult classic status, if I'm watching, like if I'm having like a fun girly marathon, right? I'm
Mhm.
probably gonna do Heather's for me, Heather's Beetlejuice, and then Jennifer's Body and this. And it would be
Yeah.
like a very seamless
Tragedy Girls as well. Yeah. This
Play
like is,
it!
I mean, it's so rare to get a horror movie that's like for the girls like this one
Yeah.
is. And it's actually, it is really, really good. It is really good. And like I said, the only other one that I've seen recently is VHS 1999. And we'll maybe cover that one day. If anyone else agrees with me that VHS 1999 is for the girls, maybe that's why it was the most panned one out of all of the VHS movies.
Wow.
Sexism strikes again.
Misogyny. Yeah, classic
Except-
misogyny.
Wow.
Except for VHS Viral, which I heard is just actually really bad. And I didn't watch that one, and I won't be watching it. Anyway, back to this movie. I really, really liked that they did such like crazy tonal shifts in this movie too, because we already talked about the opening credits, which is very Tim Burton. And also reminded me of Candyman, with the cutouts, the silhouette style of it. And then we get the dream sequence, her PCP dream sequence, and I loved that so much. It was so beautiful. And as a woman who's going to see Chapel Roan tomorrow with Chelsea, I couldn't get over the fact that Lisa's vibe in that is very what Chapel Roan is doing right now. If you're into
Yes.
Chapel Roan, you will appreciate this. If you're not, then
Then
look
get
it up.
into it.
You're
Yeah.
fucking welcome. Your life's
Looking
about to
forward.
change. Your life's about to change anyway. But yeah, I think it's like kind of like, I don't know, what is that style? Like it's giving Rococo. I don't know, like porcelain doll. I don't know what's going on. The like like the high femininity, like big blush, like white, like no flaw face, porcelain face. I feel like that's really having a moment right now, and it's weird to see it in so many different places because these things all happened separately. But also, obviously, that was very inspired by like old Hollywood as well, because it has like the moon with the bullet or rocket hitting it in the eye, which is from like classic ancient films. But I just love that whole sequence and how fucking weird it was. I was like, this is perfect. And she is on PCP. So
Is the rocket sequence later though when they smash?
Yeah.
there's also, they sit on the bed. What happens at the end of this dream sequence is she's sitting on the bed and then she looks and
His
the
stone
statue
figure.
version of him is sitting
Mhm.
on the bed. The weird scary guy who killed her mom pops out from in between them and then goes back under, and they just ignore that and they like look at each other, look back in front of them, lean their heads together, and they're staring at her closet wall, which has that poster on it. And
Oh,
the
the
closet
moon.
wall poster comes alive
You're
and
right.
the bullet like smashes into the moon. And they're like, wow, romance. Look at that.
I love
The
her
end.
Pabst Blue Ribbon gown.
Yes, that was so good. What a fun choice. What a fun costuming choice.
Well, but it goes back to
The can.
yeah, they're like, "Oh, do you like Pabst?" And she's like, "No." Or like she's like, "Yeah, he's my favorite director."
Yeah,
No,
he's like,
they're-
"Who's your
they're like,
favorite director?"
favorite
And she
director,
says
and
Paps,
she's
and he's
like,
like, "You're
Pabst.
just reading my can. Shut up, you little bitch. You don't know shit, okay? You're not cultured. Neither am I, because I didn't know who it was either. But how dare you belittle Lisa's intelligence and knowledge and culture? How dare you? I hope your hand gets chopped off later in the movie. Oh my god, thank God it happened.
They did that for you. They heard
Thank
you
you.
say
Oh
that
my
in your head
God.
during the
So
movie, and they were
thoughtful.
like, wait, let's chop off his hand.
Wait, that's a good
that's
idea.
A
Yeah.
crazy idea. But yeah, I think another like huge star of this movie, and I didn't know that Carla Gugino was in this. And did I say her last name right? I hope so.
Who can say?
She is so stunning and so incredible, and so the moment for me in horror right now after the fall of the House of Usher. She's everything. I really want to watch Gerald's Game too. I've seen
Ugh.
a lot of people rate
That
that
movie will
really
fuck you up.
highly on their list, and I always I was stupid and I wrote it off because it was released direct to Netflix, but that doesn't mean that it's bad all the time. Just some of the time, okay? It's hard to know. You have to watch them all to find out.
There's something about her as an actress that like gives me the is it what like Valley of the Dolls syndrome, or like what is it where you like look at them and it's like not
Oh, Uncanny
Oh,
Valley.
Uncanny
Valley.
Valley.
That's what it is. Like
Oh, interesting.
like her in everything she does just gives me
Adds a little
and it makes it
dread.
spookier to me, quite
Yeah.
frankly.
Well, she is so like perfect looking, but like she has that like huge eyes, like,
And it's like the way her mouth like
And I feel like she does like
it's- yeah,
Yeah.
slight tilt. That's spooky.
she's really good in this genre. She's got it.
She was giving okay.
going
Actually,
on.
She's
this
got
could
the
be
X factor.
This could be completely wrong because I haven't seen this movie, but I felt like in the scene where she's confronting Lisa in her bedroom upstairs, where she's in her nurse outfit and she's got like a little mascara track or whatever, she was giving a Clockwork Orange. I think
I haven't seen it.
I'm googling Clockwork Orange nurse.
Was Lisa Gugino, or was it not Lisa? Carla Gugino.
Carla?
Everyone is Lisa now.
You're Lisa
After-
and you're Lisa.
Well, we just did Obsessed, and she was Lisa, so it's a little confusing.
Monica's got Lisa's on the brain.
I got Lisa on the brain. Yeah, I know I haven't seen that movie. I need to see it, but I heard that it's so fucked up that it makes people very upset, and they're like, maybe you shouldn't see it. So, low on the list right now. Low on the list. Got to make it through that really mean Hard Times article about 80s underrated slashers to watch instead of becoming employable. So thanks for sending me that, Sydney. It really struck me at my core, and I already started watching the movies on it. So Stage Fright is really good so far. The killer wears an owl mask. It's very exciting. So if that doesn't entice you, I don't know what will. But anyway, back to this movie, Lisa Frankenstein.
Okay, just quick interlude. I think
Yeah.
the movie that I meant to say was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So that's
Oh,
a
I
different
have
movie.
seen that.
That's a different movie. That's a
I
way
have
But
seen
different
that.
movie.
Yeah, Nurse Ratched is what I was trying to. I think there's a nurse in Clockwork Orange because I Googled it, but she didn't look anything like what I was picturing in my brain. So I was like, this is wrong. And then I Googled scary nurse movie. And it gave me what I was looking for. Mhm.
Well, what was
It
that
also said
whole
Misery,
American Horror
which
Story
is fun. A
thing?
little throwback.
There's the American Horror Story
Mm-hmm. They were on the list. Yep.
thing with Sarah Paulson, and she plays
Mhm.
her own version
Nurse
of Nurse
Ratched.
Ratched.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Lots of things in
things are
consideration with each
singing.
other.
There
Yep.
are this is a very referential movie, and it brings up a lot
Yeah.
of horror history and film history, and it's super cute. And I love a little wink and a nod, and a little
This
homage.
movie is great for us girlies who love clear references.
We love a clear
They
reference.
like threw literal posters in the background that were good markers for sure. Monica noticed one right off the bat.
Oh, they had Creature from the Black Lagoon. They
Yeah.
had the Harloff mummy, that Karloff's
yeah, Boris
mummy.
Karloff's mummy.
Yeah.
But also, the stepmom is named Janet, and so at some point you hear her say, "Damn it, Janet!" Which
That
is
yes,
was so
great.
funny.
that.
That was very cute. We talked about the Lydia Dietz, like it's all there.
They also go to
Her
the movies to see Look Who's Talking, which is a sleigh.
The aunt who gave her the vibrator is Aunt Shelley, as in Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein.
Oh, cute. That's so cute. Love that Mary Shelley's out here making sure the girlies are feeling good.
Listen, Mary would want that.
She said it might improve your personality, which is kind of a country way to say it, but also, you know, it might. So
you know what that's giving? That's giving the like ancient idea that when women are upset,
female hysteria,
they're in hysteria and you need to masturbate them so they calm down.
This bitch is
Those were
grieving
the
her dead
days.
mother for too long. She needs a Hitachi magic wand.
And to be by the sea. It works every time.
How come nobody took her to the sea?
A
She
Hitachi
needs to
wand
be
and the sea.
masturbated by the sea.
By the sea.
Dale is 2 hands off of a father.
And not masturbated by a dead corpse.
No, that's fine too. It's fine. I accept. It was nice.
I love the juxtaposition of her of Cole Sprouse's Frankenstein monster touching her while her sister is on the phone with like police calling for her mom.
So funny. Yeah, I mean, like there.
Like
is
I
something
love that fun juxtaposition.
There's a little something wrong with Lisa, but we love that for her.
She's just
and
like
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
quirky, okay?
She's quirky and she's fun, and she's been
been
deeply
through a lot.
traumatized.
Yep.
She's seen a lot.
She's lonely. She clearly doesn't have any other friends at this school other than her stepsister. And like, I think she likes Taffy and likes spending time with Taffy to a degree. I think the like love for Taffy really comes through more at the end of the movie because like Taffy's got her own crew, you know what I mean? And Lisa very much does not want to hang with that crew and is also not invited to hang with that crew, even though Taffy's inviting her.
And Taffy is also like very harsh, but in a loving way. Like that's like her whole MO. She'll be like, "Oh, your hair looked like shit before and I didn't want to tell you, but you fixed it and it looks actually like really good now." So
It looks
she's
so
like,
slay now. Yeah.
but it was really bad before. I just want to let you know, don't put it back like that. Like when Lisa's
Sometimes
like
you
trying
gotta
really
be
hard.
real, but after the fact.
Her blush shade just wasn't doing anything for her, okay?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
way too much. I tried
The
to
interview that I read
encapsulate that
was
today.
funny because the actress was like, I wasn't sure how mean on purpose she was being versus like, is she trying to be nice? Is she pretending to be nice? Like, what's her deal? And ultimately, the conclusion was like, she is a good, sweet, nice person, but also remember that she was raised by Janet. So, you know, some of
Right.
those behaviors trickle down before you realize that
Janet-
that is maybe not a nice way to treat people. And so like she just doesn't have the filter necessarily to be like, I should not tell you that your bangs looked like shit yesterday, but they look so beautiful today.
Janet is such a cunt. She's so
Janet
mean.
is a cunt. Yeah.
She's so mean.
What's the
She's
dad's
like,
name?
apologize.
Dale.
Oh, Dale.
Dale is such a wet blanket.
He's such a wet blanket. Oh my God. Also,
Okay,
to kill
but-
all this time that he got married in a year after his wife was axe murdered.
Okay,
Jesus
but
Christ.
like, did we see like the axe murderer like pop out? But did Lisa ever see the axe murderer's face?
Are you going to suggest that Dale was the axe murderer?
I am, because there was like a weird timeline and I don't remember exactly, but it was like 2 months after the murder they were dating and like 6 months after they were married. And so
I think just
that
classic
Dale
men can't be alone
No,
syndrome.
I think Dale murdered his wife, which is why I almost called her Lisa. Oh, her name is Lisa.
All the Lisas
What's
are
happening?
confusing us
I
about
lost
who's
the
Lisa
plot.
and who's not
I've
Lisa.
lost the thread.
You're
But
saying that's why
Lisa's
Lisa
so crazy.
survived?
Well, it's why Lisa like has these murderous, tensions, because her daddy does.
Oh, she
too.
inherited it?
Yeah,
Oh, well, he is
It was
really
there.
disconnected to everything.
it was there.
I could see it. I hate him.
I don't
He
think I
sucks.
like that read. Yeah.
He's so absentee. He's so, oh my God. He just is so ready to like fully embrace his new family. And he's like annoyed that he has this traumatized daughter to deal with. And he's so gung ho about Laffy and also his like
Laffy.
That's her
Laffy.
name.
Laffy Taffy, excuse me. I almost said Lisa, I guess. And then I fixed it at the last
Switched at the
second.
last minute.
Everyone is Lisa. But Laffy Taffy, she's all that and I was gonna say and a can of beans. Is that a phrase nowadays?
And a bag of chips.
Yes.
And a can of beans. That's what you say about men when they're cowboys.
That's so weird. Why did I say that? Anyway, okay. She's all that and a can of beans. But his like love for her felt creepy to me. Is that bad? That's probably also a bad read.
I was very worried that there was something going on with the dad and with
I was
Taffy.
getting
Yeah,
I was like,
ick.
I was scared.
I was scared too. I was like, please let's not go down that road. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt that vibe. I was like, I'm the sick person for thinking this. But I was there.
I was very scared. And I don't remember what it was that made me feel that way exactly, other than like she had a mystery hickey and then there was something else after that where it's like they're going to a movie or something maybe. Oh, it was like dad's taking me to Fuddruckers or whatever. And I don't know. There was some sinister energy at one point that made me really scared.
He was just so happy
like-
about her cheerleading thing that creeped me out. I don't know. What were you gonna
Oh,
say?
it was
Sid?
like
Sorry.
she got her splits and everyone was so
Oh, yeah.
excited and she had her legs open
Legs.
against the wall
Wall.
screaming. So I think they brought in some weird vibes there. And then I just couldn't account for what was going to happen afterwards. But as soon as Michael was missing from his seat later on, I was like, "Oh, she's fucking Michael. It's fine." Phew.
Bless.
Well, fine relatively.
Fine for her, I
But-
guess.
I didn't put it together. I was shocked both times I saw the movie. But okay, we got to talk about Cole Sprouse again. It's been too long. We took too long away, and now I need to bring him back into the conversation. I love when he shows up at the house. I love him. I love that he could hear her when he was dead under the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And heard all of her proclamations. And I, especially when she says, "I wish I was with you." And he was like, "Wow, that's so nice." I can only imagine he doesn't say this, but he's like, "Wow, I love her too." And she was like, "No, I was saying, I wish I was dead."
I wish I was dead.
That was
That
a great scene. Yeah.
so funny.
She's like, "Oh, no, that is not what I meant. I wish I was in the ground."
Like,
That is just
dead.
such like a universal teenage girl
Yeah.
experience too,
Yeah.
you know?
It's such a universal experience to have the deceased bachelor that you hang out with in the cemetery come back to your house and then be like, "We can be together now." And it's like, that is so close to what I meant, but just not quite right. And like, you seem really nice now that you're done chasing me around the house. And I've discovered that actually you're kind of just like a lovable oaf. You love the shoe
You
phone,
like the shoe
which I
phone.
also love the shoe phone.
The shoe phone's great.
And he likes The Cure, maybe. She was like, oh, not that kind of Cure. That was so funny. The script is great. The script is
The
great.
script is great. I love all the little montage scenes, like him trying on all the different like 80s clothes. That was
Mhm.
so fun just to see all the different styles that were popular then. They like hit all of the main pulse points of the 80s there, and it was great. Like the workout outfit, the jock, the like grunge, whatever. And I love what they landed on. You're looking
Well, I liked
fabulous
the
in it
pink
yourself.
satin feather robe in between. And I
Oh.
loved how she was like, yes,
Yes.
immediately, yes.
Yes, that was
She
so
wanted that.
cute.
She wanted that.
So
But he had his
so
own
fucking
vision, and
cute.
it's band tee
The Violet
blazer.
Femmes.
Yeah. Mine is Annie DeRusso, but she's equally important to support. So
Exactly.
Lisa's a great little stylist. That looks great on him. But was it a Violet Femmes shirt that
Mm-hmm.
he had on? Yeah, looked nice. But yeah, I think that I love that he is a little sick bastard and that immediately will do anything for her. You know what I mean? That's what we're all looking for in a man or a partner, just in general. Someone who will go to bat for you against all of your foes and put worms in their cottage cheese.
so gross.
That was
that
awesome.
scene.
That was so good. That was so good. Of all
Here,
the
I'll
things
do-
that you can do to that character. Oh
That was-
my God. That was a little gag for the YouTube crowd. Chelsea's out here doing physical gags, doing some great. No, I won't say it. No, I'm gonna say it. Mouth work here.
Oh, Chelsea,
when
we're
you're a
always
man, you use your whole body to perform.
Chelsea, we're always
Yeah.
impressed with your mouth work.
Thanks, queen.
I
My
really
ear is doing some real heavy lifting too, I think. If I just turn it like this, if I just do the whole podcast like this, you can really tell.
the sutures were really, really nice.
They're so good. And the diamond
Y'all.
earring.
Yes,
The
of course,
diamond
of course.
Stud.
These are what I always wear, but I was like, if I could only make them look even bigger. That is okay. That is one thing actually. My two like complaints about this movie are that I really don't think the selective mutism thing came through. Even when they said
I
I
agree.
didn't even like see it in hindsight. I was like, she was a little quiet, but it didn't feel like a situation in which she would have been talking any more than she was. So I think if that was going to be a big part of her journey in some ways, I would have liked that to have been more clear.
Yeah.
And my other note is he has the diamond earring in his ear, and when Taffy is calling the police, she's like, she looks like a beautiful Labrador at the park when the sun hits her just right, and this is her manicure, and this is what she wears white diamond perfume.
Yeah,
And so
she's
like,
a bitch.
yeah. I
Such
am
a
so
good
obsessed
line.
with Taffy. I really cannot tell you.
So
Taffy
good.
is
She's a
so
bitch.
good.
She's incredible.
Stole,
And that
she like
actress
stole the movie.
Yes.
She's
That's
so
what they were
good.
talking about. And also the actress said she did like one self-tape, sent it in, and then was like filming the movie 5 days later. So like they just must have loved whatever she did. She just nailed it.
That's
But
great.
she has that whole monologue when she's on the phone, and she is so up to date with her mom's like outfits and accessories, and she said she was going to give her the earrings. I thought him having the earring in his ear was going to circle back and be part of the plot, and I'm sad that detail didn't. I don't know, maybe it got cut somewhere, maybe it just slipped through the cracks. I really thought that was going to be like a moment or something, and then it wasn't, and it felt like a missed opportunity a little bit. Although I guess I don't know where you would have put it, like right before he chops off Michael's dick, before she fully goes into shock.
Yeah,
I
because there
don't.
was no subtlety with him
Yeah.
at any. There couldn't be a
Mm-mm.
subtlety because he didn't start looking like a real boy until like very close to the end. I
Right.
also love
After he
that
gets his
detail
dick.
too.
That's
Yeah,
the only time that
course.
Taffy sees
Jesus
him.
Christ.
Also, he looks enough like a real boy that I think you could have had a moment in there where she's like, he's coming in and she's like, well, but he's not standing there for very long. You know what I mean? He kind of comes in full action. But if
Yeah,
you'd
I
had a
like the way it
moment,
was
she could have
revealed.
been like, is that my mom's earring? And then, because because that's where we're getting to the murder plot of it all, where things are really coming to the head. I don't know. I
Yes.
think it would have been fun to have something. I guess it would maybe take a little more workshopping to squeeze it in, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
for him
but-
to go from fully Muckman in the beginning to with each zap gets a little realer,
looking more and more
cleaner,
like Cole
cleaner.
Sprouse.
Yeah.
I was thrilled.
Even in
First
the make
movie.
love to me scene, he still has like that centipede, so he's still got bugs manifesting from his
Still
body.
got
But
bugs in him. I also think it's so funny that whenever he cries, she's like, God, no!
Yeah.
It smells like sewage.
Also, I love the romance of REO Speedwagon. 'Cause
Speedwagon?
I too
Mhm.
am fully enamored with that song. Oh my God, the soundtrack to this was so good. But do you think that they couldn't get the song? Because they had that weird cover during the sex scene. What's the name of the song? Sorry, it's even when I'm keeping you inside. What's it? What's the name?
I don't know, but they had a couple of covers in this movie. So I kind of think actually it's interesting because Diablo Cody says she does write a lot of the songs into the script, which you're not really supposed to do as a screenwriter because
Yeah.
that is like a directorial choice a lot of the time. And also it's like a rights issue. So like if you're writing to a specific song, you don't know, especially that early on in the process, if you're gonna get it. But Zelda Williams really like resonated with a lot of Diablo Cody's choices there. So I wonder if they were worried that they couldn't get it or couldn't afford the original, if they were like, we can get someone to do a cover or afford a cover, and maybe we can find one with like a tone that better matches the moment.
Yeah, I don't think they could get it because I feel like it would have been better because they use so much original 80s music in this movie that when they went to the cover, it was a little jarring, but it still worked really, really well. And it's Can't Fight This Feeling, by the way. That's the name of the song.
There was a one in the beginning though that was like the what was it, like Bright Sunshiny Day, and it was like a cover, so that was like kind of like dark and moody and gloomy, and so I was like, oh, that's the vibe.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Oh
know.
my god,
I
okay,
just,
The Promise was in this movie. I was wondering why I keep wanting to listen to it lately. Maybe that's why.
it's in your. It's
Also,
on
On the Wings of Love. On
Mhm.
the wings of love.
I was last night. I realized when we watched it, I realized that was the season of The Bachelor that we all binge watched.
Yes.
We all went on a
Mhm.
trip over
Yes.
over winter break, and we watched the season 10,
14.
season 14 from 2010.
Yeah.
That's called On the Wings of Love because Jake,
Was
a
the
known
pilot.
psychopath, was a pilot. That is a horror show. Actually, that season is a horror show because he's so scary.
Yeah. But
So
when
we've
that
heard
played,
that song a
I was
lot
like,
lately.
On the Wings of Love.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It just, oh, it's so perfect. Like the cheesiness of the love songs of the 80s really fit the vibe of this sort of cheesy love story. So it just made this setting really works. It really, really works. But yeah, I love a man who will kill my stepmom for me. You know what I mean? Like
That's
what
important.
I'm looking for. With a big, heavy, blunt object, one and done. He's very effective. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I
think
think I love the way she so immediately accepts it. It's so fun to see that like turn from her where for a second she's like, but what are we gonna do? I don't remember what he suggests at first, and she's like, no, we can't until we bury the
Bury the
body. Like
body.
that, yeah, when she pulls in like that and like tucks their faces
Oh, the
close
ear.
together. It's so, oh yeah, yes.
She's
he,
like, put the
cuts
ear
it off.
on, and he's like, not yet.
And
She's like
not until-
horrified by him
until
cutting
we
off
bury
the ear.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it. So slay.
so good. They are really bad at being killers, though. Like they're not covering their tracks literally at all. The blood is still on the carpet days later. Like
They're just throwing the bodies into an open crime scene.
Yeah. Like I don't understand how they have not found the mom's body yet by later in the movie. That's not important. We're obviously working outside of the realms of reality here, and I'm willing to accept anything pretty much. So
It's also only been, it's like this movie takes place over maybe 4 or 5 days. You know what I mean?
here's
It's
about a
like,
quick descent into
yeah.
murderism. Okay. Sure,
Yeah,
Monica.
it's a
That's how
quick
it's sick.
turn from the party on what I assume is Saturday night. She goes to work on Sunday, and Michael Trent brings his jacket in, and the girl is a bitch to her, that other girl who gave her the drug cup. And then he comes home Sunday night, and then it's like Monday is when they kill the mom. So really quick after that, it's like Tuesday they kill the other guy. And then Wednesday, they're like, we're gonna get caught soon. We can only have time for one more murder. They just, things are moving.
It's moving very quickly and they're efficient. And I do love also that she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna kill someone now because that was pretty cool. And then
It's
she
my
like,
turn.
gets mad at him.
Yeah.
She's like, then she gets mad at him later. She's like, it's your fault that we are even like this. I only killed him, even though it was my idea to kill him. It was because I was just an accomplice before, and
He's
it
an
was
accomplice
exciting.
at first.
Okay, not making.
She's just a girl,
thing.
okay?
She's just a girl. I'm not
She's
a
just
murderer.
a girl.
Yeah.
But
Apparently,
she's
though,
great with a needle and thread. Also,
she's great
many
with a needle.
skills.
Well, thank God she has that job.
I know.
The
Known
sass from
seamstress.
Janet about how could it be tiring to sit there hunched over like a grandmother? I was like, shut up, Janet. You don't know. You don't know.
That's very exactly what you just said makes it clear how it would be tiring. You're hunched over doing little work like that. Come on, hurts your eyes.
Taffy just came from 3 hours of cheer practice. Shut up, Janet. We're different people.
I tried this and it was really hard, and I broke the needle and it exploded everywhere, and I got so scared that it almost could have stabbed me in the eye. I never picked it up again. It's a dangerous profession.
Dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous.
High danger, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect her to just like dismiss all of his advances so much in it, because again, I thought she was going to be obsessed with him. So that was so funny and also annoying, because I was like, love Cole Sprouse, be in love. Be in love.
When are you gonna get to look? She had her heart made up already. She wanted somebody else,
I get it. She was looking for a man whose bodily fluids didn't reek like death and shit. So I get that.
We love dead to stalker to friend to lover trope. That's such a great trope.
That's such a classic trope that everyone loves, and everyone agrees is one of the best romance tropes out there.
I can't tell you how many romance novels I've read where that exactly happened. So I thought this movie was rather trite. No, it's a joke.
No, I mean, I liked that they were like besties first, and I did think they had like some funny dialogue also, even though she didn't see him as a real love interest option yet. I liked when he was being like, my ear, my hand, can you fix this? And she was like, Taffy says it's better not to fix a boy. Taffy says you have to just accept boys as they are. And I was like, slay for Taffy. Once
Taffy
again,
gets it.
Taffy slay. Yeah. But also, like, I love that this man gets all of his parts. And I love that she was like, actually, if you need a hand, I know exactly a hand that deserves to be chopped off. And I know exactly how to get it. And I have an idea. And I have a banger line that I've come up with in my head that I'm going to save for later so that I can be like, I told you I was going to hold your hand. I love that she's like, I thought that was pretty good.
I know, and he's looking at her like,
he's like, come on, girl, try a little harder. And she's like, you can't say anything. So I'm the one that has to come up with all the bigger one lines over here. It's hard.
I want to know how he lost his hand in the first place. And also, it's like,
you think it was in his original death, or do you think they just like decayed and fell off over time, which is kind of what I assumed, but I don't know why.
Fell off over time, but I don't know about the hand.
Yeah, maybe.
Cut.
The tree accident took his hand. He was jerking it, and the tree fell right on his hand and his dick, and it took them out in one fell swoop.
Chelsea.
Right? I was like, oh my God, why doesn't he have a dick anymore?
A tragic jerking it accident.
Well,
so
that doesn't surprise me, because I feel like the stuff that doesn't have bones in it would rot first. Is that based on science? No, but that's just a vibe that I feel. If anyone has any knowledge to back up this vibe I'm feeling, I think that that's right though. I feel like the animals would eat the dick first.
Well, he was buried. But I know, like, if you do an
Animals get in
autopsy,
there.
I know if you do an autopsy, they have to remove your tongue. But I don't know if they, like, when they embalm you as well, they remove your tongue because you don't need it anymore. Because they, like, sew your mouth shut.
Cole
your
Sprouse
tongue.
needs it.
His tongue is still in there. It's just all serrated and fucked because it's been eaten up too. Another soft tissue with no bone in it. Evidence.
The only
I
one
don't
is the
know.
hand.
The
That
hand
has
was
bones.
chopped off in a tree accident. In a tree falling accident or an electricity accident. It had to get chopped off so he could be delayed to show his beautiful artistry that slowly started to win her heart.
Mm-hmm.
Plot.
Playing the piano. Beautiful.
That would
Gorgeous.
get me.
It would get me too.
Gorgeous.
Would fully get me. Adam can play the piano, but he just never does it. But when he does, I'm like, it's done.
Beautiful. Okay, apparently this movie, they wanted it to be R-rated at first, and then it had to be downgraded to PG-13. So, like,
Boo.
there's a
Which
lot of
is
stuff
such
that...
a bummer. This would have been a
Yeah.
great R-rated movie.
Yeah.
What were they going to do to make it more fucked up?
Well, there was going to be a lot more blood in the dick chopping scene, for one. And they had a prosthetic penis that they had on set that they filmed, but then they had to just show it, like, in silhouette, like the shadow passing across the room instead of featuring it actually in the movie. But
That's
also,
so funny.
the scene, instead of the vibrator, although I love the magic wand vibrator, it was going to be that they chop off that other guy's hand, sew the hand onto Cole Sprouse, and then he uses that hand to get her off. Was what the original intention was supposed to be for that scene.
Okay, yeah.
And
The
Diablo Cody's
Hitachi
like,
wand is funnier.
it is
Yeah.
funny, but she was like mad that it got cut, and she's right to be mad. And that, like, the female orgasm is so censored in movies in ways that, like,
is.
male jerk off comedy
Isn't.
is so free to do.
So
Like we talked about
true.
with Saltburn, like there's so much male coming dicks jerking off humor that you can do in, like, any kind of media almost, as long as you, like, couch it well enough. But even to have, like, a scene where they talked about But I'm a Cheerleader also, where there was a scene in that where it was like just her hand going under the covers, even the suggestion of it got them an NC-17 rating on that movie, and they had to, like, fight for it, remember?
Oh yeah, they're like, we don't know what's happening in the dark. And they're like,
Yeah.
nothing was happening.
Because there was that
They're
scene
making
too when it was
out."
like the kissing. But, like, I don't know, it would have been very fun to have him get her off with the hand specifically, but I agree. I think the vibrator is better, and the, like, dialogue around it is so fun, where she's like, some people use this not on their backs, like on other places in their body. We could try it. Like, it's so funny to see the way because I don't think he would have known what to do right away with the hand. He was
No,
still
he's
full
from-
Frankenstein stiff monster. You know what I mean?
Well, they didn't have
He did
Hitachi
sex one
wands
time
back
back
then
then.
when he
Yeah.
was alive. They did not have that.
Yeah, I think this was a good adjustment for the script, and also for where that character was at in his journey back to life.
Totally. It works. Oh my God. I love when he chops off the dick, but I love when
It's so funny.
Okay. One thing first before this. I love when he's like, I'm done wearing my cool boy outfit. I'm going to beat up this grandpa and steal his clothes. I feel more comfortable in my grandpa clothes and suspenders. And he looks more comfortable.
He looks great.
Yeah.
And
He looks great in a high neck shirt.
He does.
Just
And
does.
honestly, these sideburns work for me. Sorry, Edward Cullen in Eclipse. It keeps coming up. It's not my fault that I keep bringing it up because it's been thrust upon me.
It's giving
Edward Cullen
Anthony Bridgerton season 1 Bridgerton.
It is
Before they scaled them back a little once he was the romantic lead.
They're like, we can't have a
We
romantic
like
lead.
it a little fluffy. We want it a little fluffy.
But it can't be that.
Can't be too fluffy.
But not like that.
Oh man. But I just the whole breakdown where she's like, I'm getting fucked today because I'm gonna die tomorrow. She's like, I
I
must
could
be
go to
real
jail any
before
minute.
I
Yeah.
die.
She does say, she says she doesn't want to die a virgin. She could get the
Exactly.
electric chair.
She's so real for that.
She's so real. And she's like, I'm gonna go to his house. I'm just gonna show up and present
I'm
myself
going to let
to him.
myself in. Yep.
I'm gonna break and enter, and I'm gonna. Well, okay, maybe they just left the doors unlocked back then.
It was the
It's
80s.
the 80s.
The 80s, anything goes, including walking into someone's house and being like, "Let's screw."
Especially
it could
somebody
work.
that you're like not friends with.
They've talked 3 times, and it was all.
He likes her poems. He published them in the Grackle. She knows his hangout spots, and she went to Rocky Rococo's, and he was not there. So they have some established rapport, even if it's not in interaction with each other. It's just observations from afar.
Yeah, she has created this level.
They've had 3 conversations now.
They've
Okay,
had 3
they talked at the
conversations.
party.
They
They
did
talked
seem
at work,
flirty.
and they talked by the lockers.
I'm pretty sure
He's-
that's how it works. You
No way
talk
he wouldn't be down
3
to fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, you talk 3 times, and it goes well each time, and then the next time you don't have
Then
to
you
talk.
fuck.
You just say,
Yes.
"Let's go," and then
Honestly,
it goes.
that's modern dating. That's not how you did
That's
it in
modern
the 80s.
dating.
She was
Lisa
ahead
was
of her
ahead of her
time,
time.
which
She
is
was
very
just
clear.
So ahead.
So fucking funny. But yeah, just the whole like I don't know. I liked the end of this movie. I liked the chaos of it. I liked how the whole thing went down because it was like they had a lot that they had to accomplish, and it was insane. But it just was insane. What were they gonna do? He chopped off the guy's dick. I love that nobody killed Taffy. That makes me happy because I love
Thank
her.
God.
They
She
can't
did
kill
stop
Taffy.
him. He did
Yeah.
like get the pillow. So
Yeah.
he
That makes sense.
nobody
You
made
gotta
that
kill the
boundary
witness.
clear to him before. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She firmly said it right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he respected it. So that's
And he went,
great.
oh, got it. We'll drive our separate cars. I'm gonna go to the cemetery. See you there, Queen. And she said, okay, I just gotta drop Taffy at first. And then she gives her mom's rosary, which was really sweet. And
That whole
Taffy's wearing it
monologue was
later.
really
Right.
nice. That whole thing was really nice. She's like, I
Yeah.
just looped you in with your bitch of a mom, and who can blame me? But also, like,
You're not your
she
mom.
really wanted, yeah. Laffy really wanted them to all be a happy family, and she's definitely very naive, and she's definitely a little bit of a bitch, but she's a good person, you know. And so
But we
I
all
feel
love
bad she had
bitches.
to be so traumatized. Yeah, we love a little bitch. She's giving a little bit of Regina George, but nice. Unlike Regina George, who's not, but she will say
She's
the
giving
like.
Gretchen.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
like somewhere
comment.
between Gretchen and Regina, because she is the head bitch, but she's more Gretchen temperament.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Where
yes.
she's being a bitch, but she's not doing it intentionally.
She's not doing it to be a bitch. It's just sometimes she says the wrong thing, and because she's the hot popular girl, she never gets scolded for it. So
Sometimes you have to be so real, and it's hard.
sometimes you don't have anything to worry about, Lisa, because your mom's already dead. And then she's like, I
That-
didn't
Oh
mean
my
that.
God.
But
was
like
so
in that
fun.
moment, it's not a nice thing to say, and she apologizes right away. But you can like see where it's
Yeah.
coming from still, where it's like she's scared, she's worried, you know,
Well,
like
she
she's
also
yeah. Poor
hasn't had
little
anything bad
Taffy.
happen yet. Well, I don't know what happened with her
Like
dad.
it's great that our parents got married because Lisa got a new mom right away.
Right.
Just a beautiful
All
way
right,
of
girl.
looking at things. But I love that moment. I love that she just leaves Laffy Taffy to do whatever she wants. And I love the scene where like the romance finally hits, where she's like got the axe and she's ready to end this monster that she did not create. Okay, I almost said that because I got confused. That's the one difference. God created him. Power of electricity
The
created him.
green lightning storm from the night of the party.
It was fate. It was love incarnate that brought him back to life. Okay, let's say it's that. But I love when she like has the axe and she's like, I'm gonna kill him, and she can't, and she finally realizes like, you're
She
the one for
swoons
me.
into his arms instead.
Ah!
Ugh.
She's like, take me now, and the whole
Let's
like,
go
I don't
sew
have a
on your
dick.
dick.
That part was so
Yeah.
funny though, where she was like,
Where he's like,
I don't have a
And then
dick.
she's
And
like,
she's like, oh no.
"Oh."
And then he's like, but don't worry, I just got a dick. And she's like, oh.
Because she's
And
like,
then-
we can get creative. And he's like, I already thought ahead, queen. Don't
But-
you worry. You said you wanted to get dick down. You said you wanted Michael Trent's dick. I can do both
I
of those
have-
for you. I can dick you down with Michael Trent's dick. Just give me a minute.
And then that cop shows up and it's like, you can't be here at this active crime scene. And they just throw her in the pit.
They just push her. Yeah.
We don't need to worry about her right
We
now.
only
She'll be
need to
stuck down
buy
there
like
for a
an
while.
hour, okay?
So yeah, I just love that. And I just loved the pacing for the whole end, that they're like rushing because they don't have a lot of time. Like they're gonna get caught any second now, and she needs to get railed.
She needs to get railed.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She needs to get railed, and she needs to commit suicide. Those are her two things on her list. So I don't know. I just thought the scene where they actually like, I loved like how excited they were like right after he
I love her
got
like
zapped.
old timey nightgown as well.
I love when they're both in the old timey nightgown.
Right?
Yes. I love her
What
nightgown. I
beautiful
love the
costumes for the
lighting.
Hitachi magic wand scene.
Right?
She
That
looks
was so funny.
But when they're finally doing it, she just looks so like cherubic and beautiful and excited, and it just feels so sweet. And I was swooning. I was like, "This is good." Like they've just fell in love 5 seconds ago, but I was like, "This is the romance of the century."
This is
Like,
it. They're
this is
together.
it.
This is Edward and Bella. They are in it together.
I have thought about this in my head, comparing it to Twilight multiple times.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I love a
so
good
much.
romance story. I love a good
An
toxic romance
undead
story.
romance.
It's so
He plays
sad
the
when she
piano.
has to like immediately after this like beautiful meeting has to like douse herself, I think, in kerosene or something. I think she like because she's all wet. I was like, why is she all wet? And I'm like, I think she's put like
She's like, I gotta
gasoline
make
on
sure
herself.
it takes.
Yeah.
Did he like? We see the shed light up, and he's in like a beach chair, watching her get
Cook.
Go up in
cooked, a
flames.
la Final Destination style. A clear reference.
The
Yeah.
clear reference.
Does he leave and like wait for her? Like, does
It's
he?
not clear to me if they're like, did she fully die and then was brought back somehow? Did she just get horribly burned in the shed
And
fire?
he like took her out.
Yeah, and
No,
but,
she
but
died.
I think
Yeah.
she had to have died for them to be together. And I also think like she had to have died because if they just were going to be like, the shed burned down and I guess Lisa's body burned to ashes inside of it, then like they wouldn't need to kill her. They could just run away together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
I think she needed to die.
She definitely died because two things. One, I don't know if this is like a carving he did or something. I don't know how this would possibly work, but when they cut to the scene where Lisa swallows this cute ass fucking heart grave, so cute, lay of
Yeah.
a heart grave, is there. Oh, also really quick because it's about to be a part of this. When he puts the peach ring on her finger and they get
Yeah.
married,
Yeah.
that was really sweet. That was
That
very
was
sweet.
so
Anyway,
sweet.
back to this. But like when Laffy Taffy looks down and sees like the engraving and it says beloved wife, another thing that I noticed is there's like a crack in the grave that's like blackened with some green, and it kind of looks like it was struck by lightning. Because I don't know why he would carve that in. So to me, that read as it being struck by lightning, and so she had the same thing happen to her. Where like
sure he
love
got, like,
intervened,
A
or
hanger or whatever to
Yeah.
conduct it during the next lightning storm. He waited it. He bided his time until the freak weather returned to the area.
What
Yeah.
did her note say? Like,
love
death
is not
can't.
I
the
love
end.
you
Yeah,
forever.
I love you
yeah.
forever.
death
Death,
is-
can't keep us apart, or something like that.
Death is
Yeah.
temporary. Temporary was
Like
in
death
there.
is
I think. Yeah.
temporary. Like
Yeah.
I'll love you forever, something
Ever.
like that. Yeah.
Lisa.
And I just love the ending. I think that because also I think that like the way they set up the science in this, which isn't science, like if she gets zapped enough times, she's gonna be normal again.
Yeah.
Because he was completely decomposed. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
I don't
she
know if he like found another faulty tanning bed or if he was like, oh, I can stick my finger in an outlet. Like, there's a lot of ways to get an electrical shock in this world.
Yeah.
Maybe he just needed to rub his feet on the carpet a little bit.
A toaster and a bathtub.
Toaster in a bathtub. Yeah, he's got so
He's
many
got a
options
lot of
available to him.
options.
Yeah, because
But I
he's
love-
got a full body now.
He
Oh,
can
yeah, he-
speak. He
Yeah,
can
he
Well,
read
he looks
poetry.
beautiful. I'm glad he finally gets a line. Good for Cole Sprouse. And it's
And the
some beautiful
poetry he
poem.
reads is like Percy Bysshe Shelley's poem to Mary, his wife, who wrote
Who wrote
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein?
I
And it's also a reference
love-
to Saltburn again. Back to Saltburn.
Always comes back to Saltburn. But yeah, and then she opens her eyes, and that's another reason I knew she was dead, because her eyes are all fucked up when she opens her eyes.
Yeah.
They're like red and they look scary. So
Yeah.
He like just got her out, maybe. Well,
just
maybe
got
she's
her.
had like a zapper too since then.
But she looks
Because
so
he
like the makeup for that was so perfect too. Like the like hyper feminine, all of that shit, the chaperone of it all. I don't
Right,
know,
on
man.
top
I just
of the
thought it was
Band-Aids.
perfect ending shot. It was so like, yeah, I don't know. It's so Tim Burton-y, all of that. It really is Edward Scissorhand vibes with all the wrappings around her and stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was a very, very cute, perfect ending.
And
IMDb.
Taffy and Dale are living happy-ish ever together and
They're going to Frederickers.
platonic, normal, good father-daughter
Don't bring that back
relationship.
up again.
Yeah.
Even though I brought it up the first time, I can't hear about it again.
No,
What
but
were you
I
gonna
thought
say,
it was
Sid?
nice that they visited her grave also because, you know, I think they put some things together, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they know she killed everyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They love her still.
I don't think
Yeah.
Dale loves her.
I
Taffy
think
does.
he loves her just as much as he did before,
Which
if
was
that
very little.
helps.
So
He didn't want to have a
Anyway.
daughter who was difficult, which is why it's so nice that he's got Taffy now.
so lovely. Sid, I'm sorry, were you gonna say something
Yeah.
about the end?
That final scene, it's like a little jarring too. Like you see Cole Sprouse in the rainbow suspenders, right?
Yes, gay.
Well, so this is
Sorry.
directed by Zelda Williams, who's Robin Williams' daughter, and the
Yes.
rainbow suspenders are a clear reference to his character Mork.
Oh, from which movie?
It was a TV
From Mork
show.
and Mindy.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And
I've
he
never
would
seen
wear
that.
like
I haven't
rainbow
heard of it.
suspenders all the
Oh,
time.
that's cute.
I thought that was
that's
sweet.
really sweet. I like
Also,
that.
Monica, you'll love this. The two
What?
police officers that like are, you know, talk to her with the principal and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They're Officer John and Officer Waters.
Oh my God. My king, John Waters. I love that. Oh my God. There's so many cute little references. Diablo
Yeah.
would. Diablo always will. Oh God. Okay. Well, is it time to move into our segments?
Segamuntos?
I didn't set you up that time because I didn't want Chelsea to
Because I
get
called
mad
you
at me
out
and
on social. Yeah.
Too bad.
Call out. How could this movie be gayer?
Taffy gay. Taffy
Taffy
honestly
Yeah, I think-
probably being gay after watching a guy she hooked up with dick get chopped off. She's like, okay, girls now.
Taffy bisexual icon, I am so willing to support. I think that would be like a realization that she comes into in time, you know, and I support that for her. But I could see her being like a cheerleader who's like eyeing the other cheerleaders without really realizing, because she's like, Janet is out here talking about people's bodies and blah 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 and eating her little cottage cheese peach concoction, and I'm, you know, I think she would be like, I'm just being a regular girl, and we're all comparing bodies in gym, and it's like, actually she's gonna realize later. Yeah, so I love that for Taffy. I do feel like, again, it is a girl and a boy, but I still feel like it's a queer love story.
Yeah.
I think I think,
It
well,
just
first
has
of all, I
that
think they'd both be
energy.
pansexual. It just so
They've been dead.
happens. Yeah. Well,
Right?
look, So they're no longer limited by the ideas of gender at all. That's not part of it anymore.
The earthly ideals, they're beyond that.
They're beyond those notions. Silly, really. But I also I like, I think there's the idea of queerness, of thinking outside of the norm, looking outside of what is societally expected, doing your own thing, being true to yourself. That is what's happening here with this love story. So
I agree. It's queer to fall in love with a dead guy.
That is the gayest thing you could do, actually.
Very queer.
Also,
and if there'd been a lady bachelorette cemetery nearby, I mean, who knows? But the cemetery that was right there was Bachelor's Grove, so
they would have called it Spinster's Death
right.
Camp. or something.
Spencer's Hollow.
Something horrible. What were you gonna say, Sid?
Even though we love Janet could have been like an evil gay man. And her
Janet
dad
could also be a repressed lesbian man-eater who's just like, need the next wallet.
Yeah, but I think her dad, like,
Ooh.
moving town and like marrying a man would be like
if
really
this wasn't set in the 80s, yes.
No, like they could just be roommates.
This is my
you know
friend
what I mean?
Michael
Like,
from college. We're moving in together after we had such a tough time following my wife's tragic demise. Nobody asked any questions about that, by the way.
right? They're just roommates.
I needed my dear friend Michael's support after my wife was tragically axe murdered, which I had nothing to do with.
Of course.
Right? Like, I think that would be so funny.
For an Evil Dale version of this movie, I support that viewing, where he's also the axe murderer. I think that could be fun. They're doing like the what's their face? Billy and whatever the other guy's name was from Fright Night. Where it's like they're just these two adult men that live together, nobody asks any questions.
Yeah.
The vampire and that
they
other
got
guy.
away with it in the 80s. So they could do it here too.
They're just two adult men living in a manor together. Don't ask any questions.
But I do think Janet, I think there is, we certainly don't see any real romance between her and Dale. She's just like, she likes to be able to push him around. Happy to read that. She likes to push him around. She likes a man who's going to do what she says. This is at least her third husband, because Taffy says, I tried her name now, and I tried her old name, and I tried her old name, and so like she's running down the list.
I didn't notice that detail. That's great.
So I could definitely see her as like, she could be asexual also, or she could be a lesbian, but she needs she wants to stay home and work out and listen to her tapes about how she is an an intuitive person. Okay,
that shit was so funny. That tape was so like, you have never done anything wrong in your life, queen. It's okay,
and they're
queen.
right.
Everyone is here and they're all out to get you, queen. Eat your beautiful cottage cheese.
Energy vampires are trying to feed off of you. Yeah, so
they're out there. I've seen them.
I think in this movie as it exists, I'm very willing to buy into Janet queer in some way.
I feel that. Any other gay thoughts? Oh, wait, I have a gay thought. I'm sorry. Ooh. Don't say it yet, Sydney.
Hold your phone.
Whoa.
Something about me loving Cole Sprouse feels gay to me, and I don't know what it is. I'm just sorry. I don't feel like it's a straight kind of love that I have for him.
Dylan's for the straights, Cole's for the girls, gays, and theys.
For the bisexual girls.
Yeah.
As long as you don't listen to anything he says off camera.
Even then.
Yeah.
We love that pretentious shit.
Happy for you guys. Happy for you guys that you have him.
I'm going to talk to my therapist about it next week. She's back from maternity leave.
Bringing that up immediately.
Bringing it up immediately. Hey, I love Cole Sprouse. Oh, God. She hangs up.
She's like, we need to reschedule. I don't have the energy for this.
She's like,
today.
oh, no. Is that my baby? I have to go. It's an emergency.
This can't be my first session back.
I did like that in the movie when they're, because I'm thinking about like the gender genitals issue
Yeah.
where like she's like, it doesn't make you less of a man. So like I also think there could have been room to play with that and gender
I
a little
liked
more
that.
if they'd wanted to. But
That
I
was-
like that he
that
just,
was cool.
you know, gets a new dick and puts it on. And I like
Yeah.
when she's sewing it and he's just like,
I mean, there's a dick right there, so they
it's
might
right
as well sew it
there.
onto him.
And Michael
Giving
doesn't
him that
deserve to
effort.
have it.
Yeah, he needs that. He wants that. He should have it.
And I'm glad they didn't take it from that other guy because he didn't deserve to have his dick be involved.
I feel like he's got a tiny dick. Sorry.
I did.
So,
It could
I
have been
feel
funny
like
to
they
have a
looked-
gag
he
about the
looked at it.
hands being different sizes, but what are you
Okay,
gonna do?
here we go, Sydney. Do you have any other gay thoughts?
Oh, I have so many thoughts.
Yay!
Yay,
Okay.
we did it. It's our new thing. Anyway, next is where would Matthew Lillard fit into this movie?
He would be boring as the dad, but he could do the dad. I think you could have a good cameo for him as one of the neighbors, like during the chase scene, how those two neighbors are sitting
yeah.
across watching, being like, "What's going on over there?" Oh, that's the daughter. She's so weird. Not Taffy. Taffy's perfect. The other one, like that could have been a good cameo spot, but it's also it doesn't have like pizzazz necessarily.
90s him is the perfect creature. Like 90s him would slay
Mm.
so hard. Like, sorry, move over Cole Sprouse. Like 90s Maddie Lily. Oh my God.
He'd also be a good Michael Trent too.
He would be a good Michael Trent. Yeah. He could bring, yeah, I'm getting
Like
some,
he's definitely like an
Dead Man's
editor who
Curve.
reads poetry, you know, like
yeah. I could see that. I love them in both of those.
Just put him in the party scene. He's like walking in the background. Scream
just
2
like
style.
Scream
Scream 2
2.
style. Perfect. Those are some good placements. I like those. What about the dumb bitch? Who is the dumb bitch of this movie?
Janet, for
Janet.
being a bitch and for
Janet.
being
so
dumb.
mean. And
Janet for
being-
loving precious moments.
Janet for
Don't
being
say
one
that.
of those scary nurses that likes to hurt people. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Janet for being
You
a
don't get to
psychologist.
work at a hospital in the psych ward and then call it the cuckoo nest or whatever she calls it.
Yeah, and then like 5150ing everyone. Like just like putting everyone into an involuntary psychological hold. I'm just like, you can't do just because you know that exists doesn't mean that you can make everyone do it. Like, please calm down. She sucks. Dumb bitch.
I would
for
like
sure.
to also nominate Lisa's lab partner who groped her and
Oh
the
yes.
girl who like dosed her
Doug.
with PCP.
And then went to the cops to tattle on her about
Yeah,
the guy
he's
who
such
groped
a
her.
bitch.
Like,
What a
leave
narc.
Lisa alone. She deserved to kill that boy, and he deserved to die because he's doing
Yeah.
sexual assaults.
That's what happens.
So they,
Just so you know,
I
that's
think,
what happens.
yeah, I'm happy to let, at the very least, that boy, the lab partner, and Janet share it. I do feel like the girl, though she sucks, is like a tier lower. Because
Yeah.
she also just wants to fuck Michael Trent. And, you
Yeah,
know,
Doug
he's
and
a popular
Janet
guy,
tied.
so who could blame him when every lady here wants him?
Doug and
But,
Janet tied.
yeah.
Those sucky motherfuckers.
Janet really brought it on herself. Janet really could have avoided that situation purely by not, she could have just gone on her trip. Could have just gone on her trip.
Right.
Coup.
And everything would have been okay.
I know. Well, that brings us to our knives out of fives. And I'm absolutely terrified to hear what the critics have to say about this film. But maybe I just won't listen. And so I can protect myself. But tell us, Chelsea.
Yeah, the numbers kind of are all over a little bit. On IMDb, it has a 6.6 out of 10, which is sort of the middle range because on Rotten Tomatoes, it has 51% from critics, which is rotten. That said, audiences 82% fresh, so that's pretty good.
Oh, that's good. Wait, why aren't any of my reactions working now when I need them most?
That's
now,
pretty good.
when I needed them most, they vanished.
That's pretty good.
It's not working. Oh,
There
thank
we
God.
go. Thank God. Wow.
That was an Avatar reference, by the way. Anybody get it? No. All right, moving on.
Yes.
No awards yet, right? Of course, it's too soon.
Yeah, no. There's.
Nope.
I tried to just check right now. There's not even a section on IMDb for that yet for this movie.
Award
I don't
for
think
my
it
favorite
did.
movie of February. How about that? And the
I
month's
don't
not
think
even
it
over
did
yet.
any film festival circuits or anything like that. I think it debuted in theaters.
Okay.
They had
First
the
time
premiere
director.
like the night that we did the Scream Unseen thing, I think, which is maybe why they did it that night. I don't know.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Well, who wants to go first on this one?
Go.
Okay.
This movie was a hoot. I had like a good time, and I didn't read the plot synopsis beforehand.
Who
Fun.
is she?
Oh my god, she went in blind.
Who is she?
Only because I forgot to do it, and I think Taylor would have been mean to me if
If you'd been sitting there during the movie, yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to so bad. This movie was fun. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 knives, and the beginning was like really slow. It took me a minute to like get into it, but like once I was there, I was there.
Fair.
I feel like, do you want more time to think? Is that why we're getting so many hmms?
I just like don't know. Like I don't want to go too high. But I
Yeah.
don't want to go too low. Like I'm not gonna give it 5, but I loved it. So I'm having a hard time. Somewhere between 4.5 and 5. You want to go first, and then I'll decide.
Yeah, and then you can narrow it down. I really liked it. I did. I was a little sleepy on my second viewing, so I think I would have really liked to dial it in more. But I can see
Hard to
this
watch
being
anything
a
after
movie.
Madame
Oh
Web.
my god, after
Yeah.
Madame Web, our minds were blown. But I think someone said in one of the interviews that the vibe they were going for was like nostalgic sleepover, basically. Like, this is a movie you watch with your friends when you're staying up all night at the sleepover, and I think that's
Yes.
exactly right, and I can
Yes.
see myself doing that in the future. And I think it is just like I think like it could be, it has cult classic potential for sure, like we're saying. I think
Yeah.
it really could take off, even if it's kind of at a slow start to begin with. I mentioned already my two main critiques. Like, I wish the diamond earring had played a role because it stayed in the ear. And it was referenced in the script at another moment. And I wish we had gotten the mutism more clearly in the beginning, because like a lot of the interviews, they kind of talk about how this movie is about grief. And I think that was a much quieter element of the film than the way that the people who worked on it kind of thought of it as. And that's, I think, in part just because some of the other elements are like so eye-catching and like not sensationalist exactly, but they're exciting and they're colorful and they're creative and they're louder. And so I think that part of the movie kind of falls by the wayside a little bit. Like, I think maybe the way that most came through in this movie was like, if this is a movie about grief or someone grieving, the idea that death is no longer a permanent thing is like part of the romance of that. But I think we kind of like lose the grief for her mom to some degree. That seems so like background just for the setup of how we get this family. As
Have you
opposed
gone
to
through the "you're a nightmare terror" phase of grief before? Because this is exactly it. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. This is exactly
Yeah,
like
well,
this really hits with that. It's not as overt, but it doesn't feel like it's
yeah,
related when you're doing it too.
that's probably true. I
Yeah.
wish that maybe, well, that's the thing too, because if we got more of like sad Lisa before this, like that would have been a much slower start to the movie and what the movie was, because the movie is the focus on them and that journey. So like I don't really know how I would slot that in more, but I felt like for it to be a theme that they were talking about so much, I wanted it to just be a little more top of mind while watching the movie. But that said, I really like it. I thought it was really fun. I loved the dialogue. I love Taffy. I love Taffy so much. Lisa was so fun. Apparently, Zelda Williams was the one who came up with the idea for her to have the Chapel Roan big red curly hair. I love the hair. It's such a character in this movie in its
So
own
good.
The
right.
hair is so good.
I love when she's putting him in the shower and she's like, this station is for beer sluts. This station is for people like us. Like,
Yes.
I just think that it was a really fun movie. It was a really fun script. Everybody did a really great job performing it. So I will probably give it like a 4.5. And then Monica, you can split that diff between the upper limits and the next lower.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one a 4.6. How about that? Just a little bit
Okay.
higher. I really, really had an amazing time with this movie. I think that I agree with you guys on a lot of the flaws that are in it, but I don't even see them as flaws. Like, I feel like the beginning is awkward because that Lisa is so awkward. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like an experiential way of doing the film where it's like, oh, it's weird. I feel weird. She feels weird. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it worked. I liked it more on a second watch too. Again, wish that I had been less fully just exhausted body and mind from Madame Web when I saw it the second time. But yeah, I just think that this movie has everything that I'm looking for. I love Diablo Cody's writing. It's so fun. It's so for the girls. It felt like perfect. I felt like they wrote it for me, particularly with the dead mom shit. So that's probably another reason why. But like like thinking about it now, I have only been thinking about Cole Sprouse, to be honest with you. But now you brought up the whole grief part of it. Yeah, this is the whole stage of grief, the absolute terror to society. That's it. Not as always murder, but that is there for some people in the grieving process. So that makes me like it even more actually now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, I'm so
Finally
glad
something
we did this.
feels good and you're just like, whatever, fuck it. Like, things have felt
Yeah.
bad for so long. Yeah.
Well, also it's not just that, it's like feeling something because you get really numb and you grieve so hard and then you kind of just feel bad all the time. And then when you feel something that like brings you out of it, you're like, that's it, that's the thing. And for her, it was murder. And we love that for her. Cope however you can, queen. But yeah, I really love this movie and I cannot wait to have a slumber party sometime over the summer and watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
Be
It'll be in the girly horror movie lineup from here on out.
the girly
Oh, yeah.
horror
And the name is
movie.
perfect. The name is perfect. Lisa Frankenstein. Apparently, it's like Lisa Frank and
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
It's
So it's got Lisa Frank aesthetic with Frankenstein sensibilities.
it's perfect. Well, unfortunately, though, that brings us to the end of Obsession Month. I know you've been obsessed, but that's part of the obsession is the pining. So now you'll think of it always, and that will be very special for you. But we're continuing on. We didn't stop the podcast after Obsession Month, shockingly, and we're doing actually a request from a very special listener who has done beautiful things for us that we can't tell you about at this time. Mysterious mystery.
We can say that he has gotten out of Ryan jail, though.
His name is Ryan, and he is now the
Congratulations.
only acceptable Ryan in the world. Right?
All
Sydney?
Ryans start in Ryan jail, and they have to prove their way out. And by gosh,
And
he's done it.
he
This
has
Ryan-
fulfilled lots of requests for us. We will fulfill a request for him.
Exactly. He's such a great Ryan that he said, "Would you do this?" And we said, And
We'll do it next.
And then we decided we'd do it next after Chelsea convinced herself of it. But we are doing the absolute classic, a black comedy, Death Becomes Her. And I'm really fucking excited because I've only seen this once and it was like it was not 5 years ago. Oh my God, the pandemic was 4 years ago. It might have been 4 years ago. I'm gonna have anyway. Meryl Streep's in it, and it came out in 1992. I'm being verklempt right now. Ugh.
I've been begging to do this one for a while, so I'm thrilled. I love
You
this
don't
movie.
have the same sway as Ryan, I guess.
Clearly.
you know, when Ryan looks at you and he says, "Would you do Death Becomes Her?" You can't say no to him. You know what I mean? I hope you like this, Ryan. I'm so sorry. I hope you're not creeped out. But anyway, I love Meryl Streep. Who doesn't love Meryl Streep? Goldie fucking Hawn.
Goldie
Could look
Hawn,
at her all
iconic.
day.
Bruce
I
Willis.
forgot about Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Oh man, this is gonna be so much fun to do again. And also, it's my birthday month, so things are gonna get crazy. Just get ready. That's all I have to say. What should our poll question be for this one?
Vibrator or hand?
Yeah, vibrator or hand.
Yeah, I like that. Perfect. It's done. So we've had a nice time. Why don't you tell us in writing, prove it to us that you really liked it, in a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or even on Audible, where we still have 1 review. Thank you, Leo. And you could also give us 5 stars on Spotify, and you don't even have to say anything. You could be like Cole Sprouse and mum is the word, mime something. We'll never know about it.
Emojis.
Emojis. Yeah, that works too. If you don't want it, if you don't have Spotify. And why not follow us on all of our social media? We're at spooky_Tuesday on everything, especially YouTube, which is where you can watch us all dressed up as characters from the movie today. Chelsea
If
really
you
slayed
couldn't
it.
hear me putting dummy frogs in my mouth and spitting them back out, you can see it on YouTube.
It's very
It's a
beautiful and
gift.
it should be seen. Sydney
Here, I'll
has
do
her
one
hair
more.
crimped. She looks stunning. I have my
One more
hair
for the
crimped.
girlies
It
who
looks
watched to the end.
okay.
You can see my cat try to murder me.
There's so much to see only on YouTube. And then I'll stop plugging it. And we're also on Facebook and Tumblr at Spooky Tuesday Pod. And at the end of the day, thank you for listening. See you next Tuesday.
Bye, spookies.
I want to help you, but Taffy says it's a waste of time to try and fix a boy. It's better just accept a guy's flaws.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Captain Tamara, and our podcast art is by Mary Murphy, who you can find on Instagram at the_moon_OMG.